find yourself trying to do all the things all at once, believe me, I see this in my practice all the time, and clients share with me that they want to make big changes, right? They want to make all the changes and list for me all the different approaches they've tried or are trying. And more often what happens is we jump all in and then we burn out quick, right? And so small shifts for big changes is sure to make a lasting impression on your life. Hi, my name is Catherine O'Brien at happywithbaby.com, and I'm also the author of Happy with Baby, Essential Relationship Advice When Partners Become Parents. And I'm here for you live every Monday at 11:30 in our Facebook community. And today, first of all, I want to say happy Monday. Whenever you're listening to this, happy whatever day it is. Happy New Year. And let's just take a quick deep breath. Because I know we tend to rush and go through things, and it's hard to slow down. And maybe if you have a cup of tea or water or whatever, take a good hydrating drink. And so I know when I'm facing a goal, and I tend to make myself a lot of goals, whether it's large or small, I like to create a list of mini tasks. And this past month or two, I had a goal, and I knew we had to break it down, right? Because we have children and we have jobs and we are living in a time of a pandemic, and it's hard to get all the things done that we need to get done. So I knew that we needed to break things down, and I like to break things down as much as possible because oftentimes, if I look at what I want to do, it just seems impossible to do. Whether it's cleaning my kid's bedroom or cleaning like the toys are strewn around, or if it's like doing something huge, like a business goal or something. So whether your goal is to exercise more or spend more time with your partner or your children, or whether it's to create a project or, create a goal, I like to make it's a 7-step process for doing this. So first of all, depending on what I want to do, like say you wanted to spend more time with your children, like you're feeling, you're rushing, like I know I feel like I'm rushing to all the different tasks that I need to do, but I also want to be able to spend more time, quality time, not just like, oh, I made you dinner, or we got ready for school, or I helped you finish your homework, or whatever, but I want to spend quality time. So maybe I'd make a list of like all the things that I want to do and really reflect on a couple of these questions. This is the next step. Like, where am I right now in life with my family, with work? Like, what does my schedule look like for that? Where am I with pleasure? So what do I really have available to me time-wise? And what is it that I'm hoping to change? What, is it personal, professional, spiritual? What am I hoping to change? What would I like to get out of this? And what would actually make me feel good right now? What do I need? We often forget to ask ourselves what we need, what would feel really good to you right now. And in what ways can I actually make this happen? How could I even do that? And you can just be journaling all sorts of things, right? You don't have to come up with the answers, but just all the ways, all the things that you could do. And then ask yourself, another question is, how could I even make this more enjoyable? What would make it more fun? So you journal that all out, or think about it all out. You could talk to your partner about it. You could talk to a friend, like what are the things? And just kind of reflect on those questions. Like, what is it that you really need, right? And then the third step is that you'll choose one thing, right? We tend to try to do all the things all at once, but if we choose one thing at a time and we make slow, small incremental changes, they tend to go towards lasting change, right? So choose one thing right now that you would most like to experience, and just experiment with just different options. If maybe what you thought was going to be your first choice doesn't feel like the right fit. Like, it doesn't have to, like, sometimes what we think we want, and then after we kind of go through the process and what we end up figuring out are like two different things. So just kind of experiment and figure out maybe what feels most right to you. right? And then the third step is you're going to choose the one thing right now that you would most like to experience, and then experiment with like different options. I just said that of your first choice. Sorry guys. All right, keep my paper straight here. And then step 4 is to keep it simple. Let's not make it complicated. Let's not do too much at a time. But you're going to begin with 1 week at a time, or even 1 day at a time. But like, for instance, if we were to do something this week, what's this week? I want you to choose a day and a time and how long you would want to do whatever it is. Whether, like, if you wanted to spend, like, say you wanted to spend quality time with your partner, like, choose the date, choose what time and how long. And sometimes I feel like we jump in and we feel like we have to do, okay, we're going to do a 2-hour thing. Well, if we do a little bit at a time, like if we're going to do 30 minutes today and then maybe 30 minutes another day this week or next week or whatever, and that could build on. And maybe the 30 minutes turns into an hour, or turns into 2 hours, but let's start small and not put too much pressure on ourselves to do too much at a time, right? And then the 5th step is trying to commit to that time and that day that you'll do it and how you're going to do it, and write it on your calendar. I feel like, I know for me, being a parent and a business owner and all those things, is if I don't write it on the calendar, it might not get done. Like, it just keeps going to the bottom, right? Like, other things fill in. So I need to do a placeholder. And believe me, I'm one of those people, I don't like to be overscheduled. It's not fun. I don't like to see no white space on my calendar. So you can even block out white space on your calendar too if you have to, right? Like, I'm not about overscheduling, but I'm scheduling the things that are important to us for our self-care, for our relationships, right? And so commit to how long you want to make space for this, like how long you really want to try doing this. And then step 6 is ask yourself what you need to make it happen. I think that's often one of the hardest parts, is trying to figure out all the ways to actually make these things happen. And some things to consider are, do you need someone to help you watch your kids to make it happen? Like, does your partner need to be home? Do they need to be taking a nap or going to bed? Like, if you're wanting to work out, do you need special clothes to wear, special equipment like running shoes or, earbuds? Or if you want to spend time in your garden, do you need gardening gloves? Do you need like a yoga mat or music or, a good podcast to listen to? Like, what are the things that you need to make it happen and to make it most enjoyable, right? And so step 7 is creating that list and asking yourself when you will get these things prepared. Like, how are you going to get these prepared so you can make sure it happens on that date that you decided on the calendar? And decide some other things, like, are you going to do it with somebody else? Would you like to do, is it getting together with some friends via currently maybe a Zoom call, or eventually hopefully for a walk or something? Is it something you want to do with other people? And then do you need to contact them and share that time with them and plan that out together? And if you're including your kids in this activity, what are they going to need? Because I know that can make a process, but what are the things you can do to break it down to then make it more simple? And we do one little thing at a time, right? One little step at a time so we can get to that place. So I want you to start now. I want you to ask yourself that first item, right? Like, what is something that I need in my life that's going to make me feel good? Like, for this year, I picked a word to represent what I really want to make sure that I'm doing. And that word is nourish, right? And a constant reminder I have for myself is I really need to nourish myself. I preach that a lot to my clients, but believe me, it's probably, I say it the most because it's also something I struggle with the most, is I know I need to take care of myself because I really want to enjoy and spend good quality time with my family. I want to nourish my family. And then I also want to be able to be there and be present in my business. So I want to nourish my business, but I know I need to nourish myself first. So what are the things, what do you need? What do you need for yourself? What would be Where do you feel like you're maybe a little bit off balance? And share with us in the comments what you're working on and how we can cheer you on and encourage you. And I look forward to hearing how you guys are doing. So please share with us, and remember that we're here every Monday at 11:30 with a different topic every week. And please be sure, if you have a topic that you would like to hear more about, that you share that with me as well. So you can share that in the comments or send me a message. And I look forward to seeing you next week, and I hope you have a wonderful week in the meantime. And then also this week we have a special Facebook Live interview with Elizabeth Hall, who is an interior designer, and she's going to give some insight and guidance that helped me with a recent big task that I had with making some changes in my own home. And so I look forward to, she has some really good quick tips on just kind of how to simplify things and make things a little bit feel good, right? We're in our homes a lot right now, and it's like, how can you make your space feel the most comfortable for you? So until next time, you guys, take care, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye.